Now on CoastTV News.
Bypass progress. What nighttime lane closures on Route 113 near Millsboro mean for you. Sigh of relief. A new project timeline for roadwork near Frankfurt offers hope for a local farm. And crash landing. What we know right after a Delta flight flips upside down in Toronto, injuring many passengers.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Another plane crash today. Some passengers hurt, but relief as everyone makes it out alive. Good evening. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to CoastTV News at 11. We begin tonight with what could be a scene straight out of a movie. A Delta Airlines commuter plane crashed at Toronto's Pearson International Airport upside down. And the Delta Airlines flight, operated by Endeavour Air, was coming from Minneapolis. The crash happened around 2:45 p.m. Mary Bell Gonzalez reports as the investigation into what happened gets underway.
We just landed. Our plane crashed. It's upside down.
A packed Delta airplane crash landed at Toronto's Pearson Airport Monday afternoon, ending without wings, a tail upside down, and on fire.
It is extraordinary that everybody got out of that plane alive.
At least 18 people were injured, according to the airport's CEO. But miraculously, no casualties on the flight from Minneapolis, Minnesota.
This is in due part to our heroic and trained professionals, our first responders.
All 80 passengers were evacuated from Delta's Bombardier CRJ-900. That's 76 passengers and 4 crew members.
From my perspective as a FAA regulator, so many things went right.
While investigators work to figure out why this crash occurred, analysts say the plane's safety features likely had something to do with survival.
The 16G seats, which were put into the aircraft many years ago, prevented the seats from coming apart during this accident, which made it survivable. The other thing that made it survivable was that the breakaway bolts in the wings. Once the aircraft starts rolling like that, if these wings don't break off, it tears that fuselage in half and causes fatalities.
Strong winds blew through Toronto all day. The airport posting on X early Monday morning, quote, "The snow has stopped coming down, but frigid temperatures and high winds are moving in."
There were gusts upwards of 40 miles an hour. It could easily have clipped a wingtip and catapulted down the runway.
I'm Mary Bell Gonzalez reporting.
Coming back closer to home now, when you drive through Millsboro, what you see on your screen right now is what you would see on the road. But starting today, you're going to see a lot more road work there on Route 113, mostly in the nighttime. CoastTV News reporter Brendan Conroy is live right there now in our First Alert Weather Jeep. And Brendan, this is part of the Millsboro Bypass Project.
Yes, Christina, the North Millsboro Bypass Project has been going on for quite some time now, and that's what's going to put that on your screen right now. These lanes are currently closed, but it's only going to be for about 12 hours a day that we're from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. That's when these lanes will be closed, and it's really only people who have to use this road that are the most.
Delays, detours, and lots of improvements. That's the scene on Route 113 in Millsboro as improvements to the North Millsboro Bypass Project are being completed. Both northbound and southbound lanes will be closed for about 12 hours a day. Santos Torres lives in Millsboro and says this could be a big burden as he travels that road every day for his job as a DoorDasher.
We already have an issue getting across the bridge.
And told CoastTV he hopes these delays and changes don't affect his daily routine or income.
But I hope it does not make our deliveries take way longer than they're supposed to.
These lane closures are due to the installation of underground pipes to the Millsboro bypass. On the other side of things, Joe Schroeder is working on a job in Millsboro. He says he just takes a different route.
I have an alternate way of coming through the back way of Dagsboro to reach the job site here, so it won't really affect me as much as a lot of other people.
These closures will continue until the end of the month, weather permitting.
Now, DelDOT says that these road closures that are going to be this way until all of those pipes are installed, so you can expect these lanes to be closed until around on February 8th overnight. Until then, you might want to take a detour. Live in the First Alert Weather Jeep, Brendan Conroy, Coast TV News.
Okay, thanks, Brendan. And the $100 million Millsboro bypass project has been decades in the making. Discussions on the project go all the way back to the 1990s, and the project first broke ground in 2023. DelDOT says construction is set to end this year. Along with the bypass, an overpass is planned to be built at routes 113 and 20. 4 bridges are also planned to be built along the bypass, with some going over Millsboro Pond. Well, more than 2,000 people were without power for about an hour tonight near Long Neck. Here's a look at Delaware Electric Co-op's outage map. This was around 9 p.m. The company says a car crash damaged electric equipment in the area. Crews went out on repairs. Power was restored at about 10 p.m. We're going to take a live look outside now into Ocean City, and our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams is going to join us with a check on the weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Christina, and we're keeping a close eye on how things are beginning to progress a little closer to what we think is going to be a fairly decent snow shower, too, from a snowstorm that's heading our direction. Will likely park itself in our neck of the woods Wednesday night going into Thursday morning. Ocean City, though, right now, Hershey's exterior camera, we're at 34 degrees, dew point temperature of 13. We're going to drop down to 28 degrees under mostly clear skies. We're in the 30s right now, 33 to 34 degrees basically. And right now, as you take a look at the blue that you see here, well, that's indicative of the storm watch that's in effect. Really kicks in on Wednesday going into Thursday, but it stays in effect until Thursday at about 6 o'clock. That's for all of Sussex County, watching out for about 3 to 5 inches of snow, actually. And in addition to that, we have small craft advisories that are issued along the coastal region. Now, coming up, we'll talk more about the potential of snow and the amount that we expect. Until then, back to you, Christina.
Okay, thanks for that, Paul. A local farm is breathing a sigh of relief after DelDOT revised its timeline for some road work. The Route 20 Bridge Rehab project, it was originally set to stretch into mid-July, and as we reported last night, that's right in the middle of Bennett Orchard's Pick Your Own Peach and Blueberry season. But now the work will wrap up by May 16th, according to DelDOT.
Farming is challenging enough. We deal with Mother Nature, we deal with diseases, impacts to our crop, a lot of things that are challenging for us that are out of our control. This shouldn't be something that we have to worry about.
Yeah, so Bennett said this change that DelDOT announced today is going to be a big help for the farm. Now, this road work could still bring some challenges, especially for Indian River High School, which is just a mile away. But DelDOT says detours will be in place to help drivers navigate those changes. This week, the Ocean City Council will make a final decision on whether or not to add a 5-day minimum length stay for residential areas and mobile homes in town for short-term rentals. We sat down with some realtors on this topic. Some say people who rent out their property rely on that income to survive, and they believe if this regulation is passed, it could bring down property value in the area. On the other side, the town says the main reason this is being proposed is to keep neighborhoods from feeling like hotel districts.
The council is trying to strike that balance, allowing some rental activity to occur, but trying to maintain the character of those neighborhoods.
This 5-day minimum would not be the only change in Ocean City. The council has already passed a regulation which says each bedroom in a short-term rental can only have 2 people maximum. And it's not just Ocean City. The town of Milton also considering regulations for these short-term rentals. An advisory report is being given to planning and zoning tomorrow. Alex Delmar is a short-term rental owner and says she's tried long-term rental, but says it didn't work out.
I did try to have a local person be here longer term, and he didn't pay his rent. So, and I just honestly can't afford to subsidize someone else who's not paying their rent.
Milton's mayor says he's hopeful they can find regulations that work for everyone. And this does bring us right to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, what's the biggest downside of rental restrictions? Let's see what you guys think. Take a look at the results here. Pretty mixed up. 24% saying it hurts tourism. 4% say less rental income. Most 57% saying it's hard to enforce, and a few saying there's no downside. But you can still vote. You can change up these results here. Go over to coasttv.com or use our mobile app. Let us know what you think. This week, Sussex County Planning and Zoning is considering a site plan for what would be called Deep Branch Park in Milford. The city wants to transform the 19.4-acre parcel into a park on Rehoboth Boulevard. Some ideas for the park include playgrounds, pickleball courts, and walking trails. Some people who live nearby say they're excited for the opportunities that a park could bring, but others have their doubts.
What concerns me is basically the security, because we've got a lot of older people living on that side, and they really don't have backyards, so the park will be like right up against their backyard.
The original idea for the park was involved in a since scrapped case of eminent domain, which caused a lot of controversy in Milford. The new plan does not include any of the property of property owner Annette Billings' land. It does include her brother's land, but that was willingly sold to the city. Also in Milford, a community survey is gathering feedback to help construct a master plan for the city. The mayor says the responses will help determine which areas need attention and help guide improvements moving forward. Some community members already have suggestions.
I think there needs to be more downtown residences for people to live and be close to where they're working. I would say more housing that's would be here that would attract young families that are growing. We have so many more apartments and townhomes, and we need something that's a little bit a step up from that.
Now, starting March 6th, the survey will be open to everyone in Milford. Happening tomorrow in Worcester County, your chance to weigh in on a zoning bill that could impact marine businesses and public utilities. County commissioners are holding a public hearing at 10:30 a.m. to get input on Emergency Bill 2501. The proposal clarifies rules for marine activities, and the county also says it strengthens support for the fishing industry and adjusts where public utility centers can be built. If you want to share your thoughts, head to the hearing tomorrow at the Worcester County Government Center. And we are just getting started this evening. Still a lot more to tell you about. Coming up next, from coast to coast and right here on Delmarva, what brought protesters out today. But first, we look at re-entry programs in Georgetown, what that means and who it's helping.
Well, those are in the Bay Area. We are all under a winter storm watch. We'll talk about when it begins, when it expires, and how much snow we are to expect. Coming back with that information in 60 seconds.
What if your morning was just easier? At Wawa,
Good morning.
it is. With everything you need to get your day moving. Hi. Mornings made easy. Gotta have a Wawa.
Fall in love with safety and reliability at Gateway Subaru during the Subaru A Lot to Love event. From rain and snow to sunny skies, Subaru's legendary symmetrical all-wheel drive has you covered through any weather. Right now, take home a new 2025 Subaru Outback and take advantage of great financing rates as low as 1.9%. Stop by today to pre-order the all-new 2025 Subaru Forester Hybrid, designed for tomorrow. Gateway Subaru, just minutes from the beaches in the heart of Delmarva. Higher standards.
Why settle for any meal deal when you can have one you really want? Wawa's $5 Big Breakfast Deal gets you any sizzly breakfast sandwich, any size hot or iced coffee, and a hash brown, all for just $5. Big taste, big value. Mornings made easy. Gotta have a Wawa.
Well, the magic question and the $1 million question all week long is, hey, are we going to get the snow? Yes. How much are we going to get? That's the tricky part, right? We're going to get to the tricky part in just a moment. Our tidal health camera, Salisbury, we're under freezing at 31 degrees right now. We're going to drop down to 28 under mostly clear skies. And we've had winds for today. That's been our big deal. But we are still on the chilly side. We're, near freezing or slightly above it, actually. But with the winds coming in out of the northwest between 8 to 24 miles per hour, it feels, like 20 degrees. And it feels like the 20s altogether. We had winds that gusted up to 39 miles per hour, for example, in Ocean City. But the primary concern we have right now is the winter storm watch is in effect for right now. Well, technically in effect for Wednesday going into Thursday, but they went ahead and gave us a heads up early for this. This is for all of Sussex County, and I am expecting everybody to get at least an opportunity for some snow. But I'm looking for a better opportunity in Fenwick Island, Little, Georgetown, Ocean Pines, Ocean City, and West Ocean City. And this area right here is where I'm looking for the most snow likely to fall. Now, we have some small craft advisory, so it's a little bit breezy along the coast and staying a bit blustery as a result of that. Trough is actually just draping across the Delmarva Peninsula, but it's not causing anything of great concern just yet. Now, we are looking at the winds continuously moving out of the northwest, and Tuesday is going to still be about the winds and the cold. I mean, we're looking at winds at about 25 miles per hour most of the day, and then by 6 o'clock, still pushing out of the northwest at about 26 miles per hour. So that's going to be a very cutting, uncomfortable wind. With that being the case, here's what we expect. Winds are going to start slowing down, although we do have the small craft advisory still active. Winter storm watch is in effect. We have an Arctic vortex, actually the 10th one for this season, that sets the stage for what snow we do receive to stick around for a little while, unlike the last amount of snow. And this is a very wishy-washy snowstorm because the models are just not agreeing, like they're not lining up like they should. So it makes it a little bit of a tough call, but tough calls are not a problem for me. I'll be sure to let you know how I feel about this here. Here we go. So, that's right, it goes with our logo. Good call, Paul, right? Christina's laughing at me right now. So anyway, all right, so here's what's happening. I'm looking at the back end of this snowstorm to push through. You see Ocean View, Ocean Pines, this area here? That's why I'm looking at a more targeted area here more so than anywhere else. That's really the bottom line and really the summary of what I'm looking for. So I'm looking at 4 to 6 inches right in that Ocean View, Ocean Pines area, about 2 to 3 along 13 to Highway 9, and 1 to 2 as you go a little bit more to the north. Even as we take a look at running everything through here, we see that we're looking at about 4 inches of snow right in that area. So as we go along the beach, and we're coming to an end here, we're looking for that snow for Wednesday and Thursday, Ocean City, Fenwick Island, and the same holds true for us in the Lewis area. That being the case, here's a look at your 7-day forecast.
All right, good call, Paul. Thanks for that. Well, here's a list of re-entry events taking place in Georgetown. These events, they help people who are just coming out of prison. And Coast TV News reporter Zakia Jennings takes us to one of the newest workshops and introduces us to one person who has thrived after using these services.
Georgetown's Probation and Parole Office works together with local organizations to help those who are just coming out of prison re-enter society. But before they get to this step, Kevin Cooper, re-entry coordinator and senior probation officer, says the re-entry process begins 6 months before someone is released.
We coordinate with community partners like The Way Home. We also put on a series of workshops at the Level 5 institutions that consist of a 6-month series that we do one a month.
This series prepares people to be released from prison, helping soon-to-be ex-inmates understand all of the responsibilities they'll have once they're released. Organizers like Paulette Rappa say re-entry work is crucial.
So re-entry is, and the programming that we offer is that bridge from inside to outside. And Mr. Cooper's strength was recognizing that the community partner is vital to bridge that gap.
Quintez Gross went through the workshops while he was at Sussex Correctional Institution. He now works with The Way Home as the house manager, guiding others toward a successful future. Gross says successful re-entry begins with your mindset.
I never get comfortable because I'm scared of being comfortable. Comfortability makes you go backwards. It all depends on how you look at the situation.
Re-entry programs like this are held every 2 weeks, with the next one being Thursday, February 27th. In Georgetown, I'm Zakia Jennings, Coast TV News.
Still ahead tonight, a high-stakes meeting. Trump and the UK's new leader set to talk as tensions rise over Ukraine.
Why is Rich so good? So annoying.
Buttery, salty show-offs.
I love them. Is that a smile?
This is a salty club.
Salty. You're gonna get us kicked out.
So?
That's better.
Loved by everyone, even the saltiest.
What happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable raccoon? Attack.
Bark!
Attack. It's not easy taking out the trash. That's why you need strength that's anything but ordinary.
My competitors call themselves experts.
But the truth is, they install products that jeopardize your health and your pocketbook. And ultimately, it's you and your home that'll suffer. The materials they use can promote mold growth, and they cause constant run times on your dehumidifier. And look at this cheap drainage system. This is drainage mat covered in cloth. This is a drainage system. Do yourself a favor. Call a Delmarva expert. Call FLC. For more information on FLC Energy, visit delmarvaexperts.com.
I've needed a new left hip for about 15 years. The last 2 cortisone shots I got were bone on bone, and they didn't last 6 months. They lasted maybe a month. I was in a lot of pain. The staff at the Joint Surgery Center at Atlantic General Hospital were incredibly helpful. I was back to work 2 days short of a month, which I found amazing. You learn to trust people when you get good care.
Start your journey to relief today. Atlantic General Hospital, expert care every day.
The President's Day sales event has begun at Preston Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram of Millsboro.
We have over 200 new vehicles on the lot ready to be driven home today,
including options under $30,000 like this 2025 Jeep Compass Sport. Skip the lines, shop online at MillsboroCJR.com. Just click buy, we'll bring the car to your door. So don't miss the President's Day sales event only at Preston Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. And remember, cars cost less with Preston.
Late Night with Seth Meyers. Late nights on CoastTV.
President Donald Trump will meet with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer next week in Washington. Trump said Starmer asked for the meeting and he agreed. On Sunday, Starmer said he was ready and willing to put British troops on the ground in Ukraine to enforce a peace deal with Russia if necessary. Meanwhile, Starmer and other European leaders gathered in Paris on Monday, and they held an emergency summit on Ukraine amid growing concerns that Trump's push to work with Russia to end the war has left Europe isolated. U.S. and Russian officials are set to hold talks Tuesday in Saudi Arabia about ending the war. Meanwhile, thousands of demonstrators gathered across the country Monday to protest the Trump administration policies, calling them executive overreach. The rallies were organized by a group called the 50-51 Movement, which stands for 50 protests, 50 states, one movement. Participants say they're fighting to preserve the Constitution and the rights of the disenfranchised, including immigrants and transgender people. Many people in the crowd carried signs and chanted "No kings, no tyrants." Some stepped up to microphones to share stories of why they felt compelled to act. Rallies were held in lots of places like Washington, D.C., New York City, Sacramento, California, Grand Rapids, Michigan, and other cities. That's including here in Delaware. Demonstrators gathered today at the state capitol in Dover. Protesters also taking aim at President Trump and Elon Musk. Cheryl Siskin with Indivisible Southern Delaware, who helped organize the protest, says they're calling on legislators to stand up to the Trump administration and what they call authoritarian leadership.
Federal workforce are the most dedicated professionals. It's not a partisan thing. It's about doing right for America. Those people sacrifice because they don't make that much money working for the federal government. They do it because they want to help America and Americans.
Coming up in sports tonight, the basketball conference championship up for grabs. See which girls and boys teams lifted the trophy.
NBC News Daily, weekdays at 1 on CoastTV.
Designed to outlast and outlive. Toyota trucks are unmatched, unstoppable, unequaled. Take Tacoma. Now with an available iForce Max turbocharged hybrid engine, outfitted with the most advanced tech and ready for anything. Buy a Tacoma now with 3.99% APR, and all new Toyotas come standard with Toyota Care. Toyota, let's go places.
At the Delmarva Design Center, appliances, cabinetry, countertops, tile, and flooring come together in one showroom. We have specialists in each division, such as myself in appliances, to ensure that you not only get the best product for your needs, but that your selection fits seamlessly with every element of your remodel.
It's always fun bringing clients into Delmarva Design Center. No matter how much they want to spend, there's always an option for people to pick something that they like.
Delmarva Design Center. Great design starts with great inspiration. Selbyville, Delaware.
Your child deserves the best. When your child is sick, every moment counts. And the team at Tidal Health Pediatrics understands the urgency of such situations. Whether it's a sudden fever, a troubling cough, or another pediatric ailment, your child will be seen when they need it most. Schedule your child's appointment now at tidalhealth.org/findapediatrician or call 410-912-5785 because your child's health is our top priority. Tidal Health Pediatrics, compassionate care when you need it most.
You push it. You try to hold them shut, but your doors won't stay closed no matter what. Introducing Ruby Monkey Magnets. Ultra-thin magnetic plates that will keep your doors and drawers shut. Just peel to reveal the super strong adhesive. Place the monkey, then the magnet, and close. Installation is that simple, and now you have a door that will stay shut. The secret is the ultra-strong industrial magnet's powerful attraction that holds tight. Monkey magnets work on most surfaces and are perfect for cabinets, dresser drawers, sliding closet doors, and more. Even your outdoor problems are solved in an instant because they're corrosion and rust resistant. Call or go online now to get 8 sets of monkey magnets for only $9.99. Due to rising costs, this may be your last chance to get monkey magnets at this low price. There is a strict limit of 1 house pack per order. Call now.
Call 1-800-453-9032. That's 1-800-453-9032. Call or visit getmonkeymagnets.com. So call 1-800-453-9032 now.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
New tonight, Trump administration officials say they will present to the president a plan to combat bird flu. Officials say the plan addresses biosecurity issues and involves medication that would avoid killing chickens. The nation's approach to bird flu has long been focused on eradication. However, that strategy may be shifting as the virus spreads to other types of animals and becomes much harder to contain. And now, following that news, the Agriculture Department has issued a conditional license to a company to produce a bird flu vaccine for chickens. The vaccine marker is ZooTIS. A company spokesman says its scientists began updating its existing bird flu vaccine several years ago. Now the government gave the company a conditional license. And when it comes to bird flu, the CDC says the threat to the public remains low, but with an increasing number of cases among commercial and wild flocks of birds nationwide, coupled with concerns over a newer variant, including more easily, some have been worried about the safety of the food supply. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither talks to an infectious disease specialist about whether eggs and milk are still safe to consume.
It's being closely watched. A newer strain of bird flu called D1.1, which has been linked with 2 severe human infections in North America, including 1 death.
Still, even with that, the risk to the human population right now is very low.
It's unclear whether the newer bird flu variant poses a bigger threat to people, but the virus has been detected in cows at least twice, and officials believe the cattle encountered infected birds or their droppings, which could mean it'll be harder to contain and further raise the risk for dairy workers. Right now, the danger of the virus spreading to the food supply remains low, but raw milk should be avoided, says Dr. Donald Dunford with Cleveland Clinic.
We have not seen any human cases related to that, but since raw milk doesn't go through the pasteurization process, which is known to kill bacteria and viruses, there is the potential for transmission with raw milk products.
While it's always important to thoroughly cook food, Dunford says that will also reduce the chances of a virus spreading in eggs and poultry products. And while the U.S. is experiencing a severe flu season right now, he says national data from health officials shows it's not linked to bird flu.
Right now, we are not seeing any cases of bird flu in that surveillance.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Tonight, Delmarva Christian and Saints Peter and Paul girls basketball going head-to-head for the ECI Conference Trophy. Lainey Dukes on the inbound finds Evelyn Bokinski, who knocks down the mid-range jumper and scores 2-0 Delmarva Christian. Other end, Saints Peter and Paul, Lucy Rankin finds an open Avery McCall, and that 3-ball is nothing but net. Sabres ahead 5-2. Shortly after, the Royals setting the trap, and it's Dukes coming up with the steal, and she takes it all the way for 2 to cut into the lead. Delmarva Christian down by 1. Still in the first, Ava Elliott finds Isabella Marinelli in the corner, and she hits the open 3. Royals now lead 9-7. The Sabres respond as Emma Haney drills the floater to tie it up at 9. Out of the timeout, Sabres run a little give and go, and Caitlin Palmer gets the easy deuce. Sabres lead after 1, 12-9. Second quarter, Marinelli in the corner, nothing but nylon, scored tied at 12. Avery McCoy wanted a piece of the scoring action too. She bangs home a 3 herself. Royals up 15-12, and Delmarva Christian goes on to win the ECAC Finals 53-42. To the boys championship, Malachi Light flipping the light on for the Royals. He had 8 early points to put the Royals up. On the other side, Ben Anthony with the putback for Worcester Prep in the first. Then Light at it again for the Royals, knocking a 3 down from the corner. And Delmarva Christian goes on to win 69-43. Light led the way with 22 points. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
Coast TV News can be heard on Coast Country.
It's time, America. Time to break out the red, the white, and blue oval. The President's Day sales event is here with great offers on powerful, capable Ford SUVs and Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks. There's huge inventory and great selection at your local Ford dealer. Want more? How about this special offer? Get $4,500 cash back on Ford Escape or lease Escape for $289 a month for 36 months during the President's Day sales event.
Winter is here and it's time to stay cozy. But is your heating system ready to play its part? Don't roll the dice on comfort or safety. Call FH Fur for our $69 heating maintenance and safety inspection. We'll fine-tune your system so it's ready to tackle winter's chill, no sweat, or shivers. With nearly 40 years of trusted service, FH Fur Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electrical are the pros who've seen and fixed it all.
877-CALL-FUR, FHFur.com.
Tomorrow at 4 on Coast Life, rising sea levels are erasing natural breeding islands for colonial water birds. But a groundbreaking floating island project is giving them a second chance. See how it's making waves. Tomorrow at 4 on Coast TV.
I've needed a new left hip for about 15 years. The last 2 cortisone shots I got were bone on bone, and they didn't last 6 months. They lasted maybe a month. I was in a lot of pain. The staff at the Joint Surgery Center at Atlantic General Hospital were incredibly helpful. I was back to work 2 days short of a month, which I found amazing. You learn to trust people when you get good care.
Start your journey to relief today. Atlantic General Hospital, expert care every day.
Hi, I'm Chris Adams, owner of Mattress Peddlers, your local family-owned sturdy mattress retailer. There's so many different types of mattresses out there to choose from advanced gel memory foam, super expensive air mattresses, to hybrids, to adjustable bases, even compressed beds in a tiny box. You can still get 2-sided, flippable mattresses too. My advice, always try before you buy, because the decision you make today will be the bed you'll be sleeping on for years to come.
Mattress Peddlers.
For more information, visit delmarvaexperts.com.
Legacy.
So we take a look at where we are with Salisbury. We're holding at about 31 degrees at this present time, and it's very much on the chilly side. The wind's only at about 4 miles per hour, but we are going to drop down to 30 degrees by 1 o'clock with mostly clear skies. Then we'll drop down to 28 degrees. So we're going to be dealing with at least one more very chilly, although calm-looking day before we start to deal with the likelihood of the snow showers beginning to push through with the snowstorm that we're tracking. Speaking of that, we have a winter storm watch that is in effect starting on Wednesday and will end at about 6 o'clock on Thursday. Georgetown, Bryan Store, Lewis, Long Neck, Ocean View, Fenwick Island, Selbyville, Frankfort area. Now, by the way, our umbrella winner, Carolyn Hartline of Millville. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. You can keep up with your forecast, by the way, by calling our weather line. The number to call is 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Brocksteck, Medallas, and Federico. And finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. We are calling for a red alert day for late Wednesday going to Thursday as we brace for between 3 to 6 inches of snow in our viewing area.
Okay, thanks, Paul, and thanks to you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For some more local news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. This Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next, and we'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.